Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to Wild West Racing League's Week 8 at Kansas Motor Speedway. We're here to do battle for 70 laps tonight. TNR Designs is our sponsor, as well as, since it's October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and for domestic violence, the Stand for Wit Foundation. The Stand for Wit Foundation is there to help the over 12 million men and women annually who find themselves in domestic violence. They help by giving them the resources they need to get them into safety. TNR Designs, check them out on Discord. Wild West Racing League, Week 8 at Kansas Motor Speedway. Also want to give a shout out to our Redline Radio podcast. That's Trey Smith, his Redline Radio podcast. As we watch him right now, we see the one doing his laps. Let's see how he does. So our fastest lap right now is showing to be Will Moore at 30.67. Let's see. Trey Smith ends up at the top of the leaderboard with a 30.47. That's an amazing run for the number one car. Sorry, the number one truck. That's Trey Smith. He drops down in the third spot as Dakota Henderson takes the top spot. Let's see if we can get a hold of Trey and bring him into the broadcast booth.
I'm gonna bust his ass.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Hey, Trey Smith, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Yes, sir.
Hey, tell me about that Redline Radio podcast number one truck you got there tonight.
She's a rocket ship for sure. I think we keep our truck clean, and I think we have something for potential back-to-back wins. That's what I'm aiming for. I think we got a good shot at it.
Well, that would be an awesome sight to see for sure. Do you have anything for these guys tonight special that you've maybe worked on? I know that these setups, you got to stay on top of them. So are you ready for that?
Yeah, I think we got a good setup in. I've been playing with some stuff, kind of testing some different things out, and yeah, hopefully I can shoot for beating someone's favorite driver tonight.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go back up to Bumblebee and get with your guys and get ready for this race.
Make sure I'm an enzyme, brother, but I appreciate it. Hopefully we can be talking to you here in a little bit.
Okay, we got you an ensign. Thank you very much. You bet, Trey Smith, number one.
Yes.
All right. So, as we get done and they are qualifying, one thing that's important tonight is we only have 3 races left before we start the playoffs. Tonight is Kansas, of course. Next is Homestead, and last is Auto Club out in California. Homestead, of course, being over by Miami, Florida. Now, with that being said, we have 5 drivers that have already clinched a spot. That's James Napier, Keith Ayers, Trey Smith, Will Moore, and John Sauer. They are for sure in to the final 8. Now, Tanner Ensign, Dakota Henderson, and Dylan Smith have not had a win this year, but if nobody else were to win as of right now, those 3 would make it in on points. So it's important because there's lots of other drivers here tonight that should they take a win, they can take a spot away from Tanner Ensign, Dakota Henderson, and Dylan Smith. So it's really going to be an exciting night tonight, down to the last 3 races before we get into the round of 8. So qualifying's done. We have Dakota Henderson at the top, followed by James Napier, Trey Smith, Will Moore. Keith Ayers in 5th. 6th is Justin Bell. 7th is Brighton Coleman. Patrick Wilkinson. In 9th is Mike Presley Male. 10th is Ethan Farless. 11th is Dylan Smith. 12th is Stephen Ayers Jr. 13th is Dustin Hardy, followed by Tanner Ensign, Scott Rush, and 16th is Perry Harrington. So we see all the trucks lining up on pit road, getting ready to do a couple laps around here before the pace car will dive off. Our two front runners, Dakota Henderson and James Napier. James Napier, as well as being one of the cars or trucks that's already in the playoffs, he also is our season points leader tonight. Now Dakota Henderson finds himself, like I said, in on points, but he's fast tonight. He was fast in practice. He was fast in qualifying. In fact, he takes the number 1 spot. Dakota Henderson, the number 1 spot. So on the outside of him is James Napier. After James Napier is Dakota Henderson, the two of them together. James Napier, of course, leads the points, and Dakota Henderson is looking to get his first win of the season. So as they get ready to go, we're here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Track is 1.5 miles. Track temperature today is 107 degrees here in Kansas City. Temperatures outside are a balmy, nice 70 degrees with 0% chance of precipitation. It's partly cloudy outside and a slight breeze of only 2 miles an hour. So as we get ready to go racing, Dakota Henderson and James Napier will be in your first row. Trey Smith and Will Moore in your second row. 5th will be Justin Bell, Keith Ayers together, then Patrick Wilkinson and Mike Presley male. Dylan Smith with Dustin Hardy. Ethan Farless lines up beside Stephen Ayers Jr., Tanner Ensign and Scott Rush, Brighton Coleman and Perry Harrington. We have 8 rows tonight. Pace car is off. Dakota Henderson will lead them to the go line. And we're racing. And on the outside, Dakota Henderson gets a great jump. They are side by side. The whole field is got a good run going. Side by side is Dakota Henderson and James Napier for first place. But out front is Dakota Henderson, who has a slight lead. With pushing him from behind is Trey Smith in that number 1 Redline Radio podcast truck. On the outside now taking the lead is Dakota Henderson. But fighting back on the inside is Dakota Henderson. On the outside, of course, is James Napier. And that's 77. Second row is Trey Smith along with Will Moore. And we have some really tight racing. That 5 and the 77 side by side. That 1 and the 29 are right there. So now it looks like Dakota Henderson is out front by himself, and James Napier and Trey Smith are now fighting for that second position. We know traditionally Trey Smith is fast on these restarts and at the beginning of the race. Tires have now just started to heat up, and we're getting ready to have some really good racing here. Dakota Henderson finds himself in the catbird seat, first place. If he can hold this position, like I said, through the night, he'll take out one of the people who are in on points. We have not had a race with 2 with one person winning 2 races this entire season. So into week 8 now, we just have one winner per race. Now, the gap is only 0.4 of a second right now. Sounds like a lot, but he's still in his draft, in Dakota Henderson's draft. James Napier is. We see that Dakota Henderson, we'll look at the 1, get down below the 77 of James Napier. Can he do anything with that? No. Looks like the 77 will have the momentum on the outside. So our fight right here is in 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place. This is the battle right here. These 4 vehicles. It's James Napier, Trey Smith, Keith Ayers, Justin Bell. Up front is Dakota Henderson. Let's go to Trey Smith, see what he's seeing inside his view. He looks like he's just riding around. You can see our sponsor for tonight, TNR Designs. So it looks like Trey Smith is doing just what he needs to do in that 3rd place truck. That Redline Radio podcast, number 1. Looks like he's just doing the laps. He's not trying to fight for a position. Saving that equipment. Very, very intelligent. Smart move by the number 1 Chevrolet of Trey Smith. So we see the 19 of Keith Ayers wanting that position, following that 1 truck of Trey Smith. Now Trey Smith is trying to stay with James Napier and get pulled along. We've got a 3 truck battle going on right here. The gap out front is 1.5 seconds. Dakota Henderson. Can't even see him in the frame. We're going to have to go out and see what the blimp sees. Dakota Henderson is still off screen. So let's take a look back out at him, as he is almost into lap traffic. That's how fast Dakota Henderson has been. So we go back here to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We see Trey Smith in the 3rd position, James Napier in 2nd, and in 4th right behind him is Keith Ayers. Now Keith Ayers in that 19 truck is fast. He's been fast. He's got a victory. He's already in the playoffs. So we know he's got what it takes. We know the 1 has what it takes. He's got a victory, and he's also in the playoffs. That's 77 of James Napier. He's our points leader. We know he's in the playoffs. So we have 3 guys who are running, but running respectfully towards each other. Dakota Henderson still out front with a 1.6 second lead, a little bit over 1.5 seconds over James Napier in the 77. Look back here and we see Tanner Ensign in the Stand for Wit Foundation 44 truck, purple machine. That's the Ford 44 machine, the Stand for Wit Foundation of Tanner Ensign. So he's getting passed by Stephen Ayers Jr. and Mike Presley Male possibly on the outside as they fight side by side. That outside definitely in 3 and 4 has momentum. It's a little tough in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 it works really well. There's your 44 of the Stand for Wit Foundation, Tanner Ensign. Let's look back up here. We see second place is James Napier, and he's moved into second all by himself. He finds himself 1.4 seconds back, so he's made up about 0.2 of a second. That may not sound like a lot, but it really is, and he's got clean air all in front of him until he gets to our leader tonight, which is Dakota Henderson. We're on lap 15 of 70 laps that we'll be battling here tonight. Kansas Motor Speedway, Wild West Racing League. You're at week 8. We're a 10-week season. This is week 8. After here, we'll go to Homestead, like I said, sunny Florida, and then last, we'll head out to the West Coast, Auto Club Motor Speedway. So we're down, the gap now is down to 1.25 seconds. Let's go back a little farther, see what's happening here with Trey Smith and Keith Ayers. Keith Ayers is doing whatever he can to catch that position, take it away, that third position. There he is right on the inside. That's the 19 of Keith Ayers. Can he make it happen? That one's got the momentum on the outside. He's squeezing them down through the turn. They are side by side as they come through the start-finish line. Trey Smith will get credit for that third place, but they are side by side. And now, when Trey Smith squeezes him down that way, there's nothing that Keith Ayers can really do. He's got to come off the throttle somewhat. This is a good race right here. Our third and fourth position, Keith Ayers and Trey Smith. Keith Ayers will take it from Trey Smith, but Trey Smith is not ready to give up just yet. He's right on his tail. Let's see if we can get a better view. That Redline Radio podcast of Trey Smith looking right at that rear bumper of the 19 of Keith Ayers. Now you got to know Keith Ayers is mirror driving. He's looking to see where that Redline Radio podcast truck is. By the way, Redline Radio can be found on Spotify. Look for it tomorrow, sometime tomorrow on Spotify, Redline Radio podcast. So let's look all the way up the front now. We see Dakota Henderson and James Napier showing 1.3 seconds back. And there he is. Third place is the 19. Trey Smith is trying to stay in his draft. Looks like he is losing ground to the 19 of Keith Ayers. Both of these drivers are already in the playoffs. They're racing for pride here tonight. We cross over and we are now on lap 22. Remember, tonight we're at Kansas Motor Speedway where the track temperature is 107 degrees. Weather outside is 70 degrees, 0 chance of rain, partly cloudy and just a tiny breeze of 2 miles an hour. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Fearless Broadcasting Network. I'm broadcaster Barry Stevens. We know you have choices of what to do on your Sunday evening. We thank you that you chose to come to YouTube and watch the Wild West Racing League, brought to you by Fearless Broadcasting Network. Again, I'm broadcaster Barry Stevens. So Dakota Henderson continues to lead. James Napier in second. Keith Ayers is in third. Your fourth place machine of Trey Smith. Oh, we got some looseness there as we went to show the 44 of Tanner Ensign. It looked like Stephen Ayers Jr. may have gotten a little bit loose there in that 69 machine. Looks like he got below the white line. And below him is Dylan Smith in that 48. They're about side by side now, so there's another good battle going on right here. Three-way battle. We got the 48. We have the 69. And out in front of them is Tanner Ensign in the 44. So we've got quite a battle going on back here. Oh my goodness. That almost brought out a caution for sure. That 48 just got a little bit loose, squirrely, whatever you want to call it. Good racing. That 000 almost got taken out by Mike Presley Male. That 48 Dylan Smith almost got into him. Back of Mike Presley Male's truck says Jesus is the Lord. And with that move that just happened, you better believe it. So we go back up to the front, and James Napier is our leader. Keith Ayers is second. What happened to Dakota Henderson? Dakota is now in the pits, so he'll be coming back out. James Napier is our leader. Keith Ayers is now second. Trey Smith is in third. So we see the distance. Keith Ayers is almost a full second gap between James Napier and Keith Ayers. What kind of strategy are we going to see here tonight? Dakota Henderson was in pits. Now he's left the pits, and he's showing a lap down because of that. He was so dominant. I'm not really 100% sure what he was thinking or what he was doing by short pitting a little bit. But it's really interesting because it's changed the dynamics of this race completely with James Napier now in the front spot. And the thing is that 5 of Dakota Henderson, he really could use a victory. If he were to win this, he would be guaranteed a spot into the playoffs. Right now he's in on points, but he really needs this win to make sure that he's got a victory. Gets that victory, I mean, he's in the playoffs. That's what I'm trying to say. He is quite fast. But by the time he catches up to our leaders, he's got to get onto the other side of them. I don't understand what that was about. But we've got James Napier, who is our season point leader, and he is out first place. He's up in first place by a full 1 second gap over Keith Ayers. Trey Smith is third. Tanner Ensign is now fourth, and Stephen Ayers Jr. is your fifth place car. Mike Presley's moved up into sixth. Mike Presley Male's moved up into sixth. Seventh is Dylan Smith. Eighth now is Ethan Farless. Ninth is Justin Bell. Brighton Coleman is your 10th place car. Your last car on the lead lap is Dustin Hardy. We have Scott Rush, Dakota Henderson, Patrick Wilkinson, Will Moore, and Perry Harrington, who all pitted. Now we see the 77 of James Napier coming in for his pit stop. So, looks like James Napier did 31 laps. Most of these cars or trucks have done 31 laps. Coleman did 30 laps. interesting. So there's the 77 pulling out of James Napier. We are doing green flag stops. Very dangerous cycling of trucks as we go. We have some trucks with slow tires, some trucks with brand new tires that are still cold, and then trucks who have just a few laps on them who are extremely fast. So if you've come out like James Napier just did, you need to make sure that your tires, because they're cold, that you don't slip. There's your leader, Keith Ayers, who's now in the pits, along with Ethan Farless. Dakota Henderson, look where we find him now. As he comes around, he should cycle through and become our new leader. And he does. Dakota Henderson. So he pitted a little early. His tires will be a little bit more worn than those behind him, but he now is in the lead. Wow, what a strategy. And you know what's interesting is he really wants this win, and you can't second guess him. He knows what he's doing. He's the one in the truck. He's got a team with him. He's got a crew chief with him. They're making adjustments every time they come down pit road. So we don't know what adjustments they made. Maybe the adjustments they made are going to make him super, super fast. We know that he's moved his way back up into first place with a gap of over 7 seconds from James Napier. Just an incredible, and we're under caution. What was that for? I don't know if that was a competition caution or what that was. I don't see that we had anything on the track. But regardless, we'll stack the field back up as we're on lap 36, halfway through this race of 70 laps. Remember, you're watching the Wild West Racing League, brought to you by Fearless Broadcasting Network. I'm broadcaster Barry Stevens. We're at Kansas Motor Speedway today, where temperatures on the racing surface are 107 degrees. It's 70 degrees outside. No rain, partly cloudy, and just a slight 2-mile-an-hour breeze. Kansas Speedway is a fun track. These guys love to race here. It's a 1.5 miles, and it's very similar to many of the other 1.5 mile tracks. And so because of that familiarity, it really does make it fun. Now we see Dakota coming in again, now that we're under caution. So this looks like it could have been quite a great move for him. He will not retain the lead coming out of the pits, but looks like he'll end up 6th. And that's not bad for a truck that has been running up front all night long. That Hendricks number 5 machine of Dakota Henderson. But let's look up here in the front. We see the 82 of Patrick Wilkinson. There's Mike Presley, male. He stays on the racing surface, and he'll catch up to the front here. So we've got cars getting their laps back. But our leader now is Patrick Wilkinson. Keith Ayers is in second. Mike Presley Male, Trey Smith, Dakota Henderson, Brighton Coleman, James Napier, Tanner Ensign, Stephen Ayers Jr., Dustin Hardy, Dylan Smith, Justin Bell. Scott Rush is showing in the pits. Ethan Farless, Will Moore, and Perry Harrington. They're all out on track now, showing 1 lap down. Scott Rush looks to be our first car 1 lap down. If we were to have a lucky dog, that's another caution. The lucky dog rule would take effect, and Scott Rush, being the first car a lap down, would get to go all the way around and get a lap back. Okay, we've got the pace car off and the trucks are ready to go. Patrick Wilkinson is leading them to the start line, and they're off. Patrick Wilkinson gets a great jump on the bottom, moves up to the middle lane. 19 of Keith Ayers stays in second. The 5 of Dakota Henderson now is in third place, but he moves quickly up into second place on the bottom of the racetrack, following the Patrick Wilkinson of 82. He is fast. It goes to the outside of Patrick Wilkinson. Looks like he's going to have this pass done in the turn, and he does. Dakota Henderson now is in first place. Patrick Wilkinson is fighting to stay with second, with James Napier now on the outside. James Napier is now your second place truck. Followed behind James Napier is the 19 of Keith Ayers, who now moves into third. Patrick Wilkinson is in fourth place. So here's the race in the battling up front. Dakota Henderson, James Napier, and Keith Ayers. You see Keith Ayers and James Napier side by side fighting for that second position. Let's not forget James Napier on the outside there is our season points leader. He's also into the playoffs with a victory. This is race 8 of 10, folks. Race 8 of 10. Getting us to the playoffs. Only 8 cars are going to make it into the first round. 5 have already been chosen to go to the dance. 3 more want to go to the dance. Dakota Henderson's doing everything he can up front with an almost half-second gap over James Napier now. 19th Keith Ayers stays close third position. We look back, we see Stephen Ayers Jr. in fourth, and behind him, Mike Presley Male in the 000. We also see the 44 in sixth place of Tanner Ensign. That's your Stand for Wit Foundation, your domestic violence awareness truck, 44 of Tanner Ensign. Go back farther in the field, we see Brighton Coleman in the 40 truck doing everything he can to move forward. Now let's look on the last truck on the lead lap. Right now, Patrick Wilkinson is in 12th. Ethan Farless is in 13th. Let's see where Ethan is back here. So, they've got some racing to do. Oh, the 52 gets into the wall, bounces off the wall, comes back off the wall. That was Dustin Hardy. That could have been a huge problem. Well, he kept it together. These guys are not beginners. So let's look up at the front again. We see Dakota Henderson with a gap of a half a second over James Napier in second position. Some of our faster drivers, we see Trey Smith all the way back here in 10th position, not sure what happened to him. He's been fast. He was fast in practice. He was fast in qualifying. Qualified third, I believe. finds himself in 10th position. Not a real problem at this point. There's still laps to be had. That's Trey Smith in our Redline Radio podcast. Number 1, Chevrolet. In front of him is Bryton Coleman. Bryton Coleman in that 40. That Ford doing everything he can to catch up to Justin Bell in front of him in that 8 machine. If we go back to our lead, we see Dakota Henderson has a lead of 0.8 of a second now over James Napier in second place. So the lead just keeps growing. It's 0.9 of a second now. Dakota Henderson over James Napier. That truck is hooked up. Don't know what kind of practice or trials or wind tunneling, anything that they did over this last week, but whatever they did, it's working. Obviously, these trucks have to pass an inspection through the iRacing board before they're allowed to drive. So every truck that's on this track is here legally within specifications deemed by the iRacing board. So nobody here is racing with something illegal or in a way that they could cheat. There is no ability to do that. What we're seeing here is driver ability and trucks that are set up to run the race track in the best way possible. We see that 77 of James Napier, 88.8 seconds back. It's got to be so frustrating. He's trying so hard. Yes, he has victory this year. Yes, he's our points leader. But that doesn't stop you from wanting to win. And that's what he wants. Dakota Henderson is doing everything he can with 20 to go. Now we come down to 19 to go. He needs to have this victory. He would love to put this on his mantle, knowing that he's going to be one of the final 8 and not leave it up to points. Right now, Tanner Ensign, Dakota Henderson, and Dylan Smith are our 3 drivers who are in only by points right now. So the gap is 0.7 of a second. James Napier is making up a little bit of time, but not much. Not sure if Dakota Henderson's slowing down, saving his equipment, or if maybe he ran a little too hard up front and James Napier is catching him. There's no way to know. We'll have to wait and see if these are podium holders. If they are podium holders, we've got some great questions to ask them, that's for sure. So we've got a Chevy running first and second, and a Ford running third, followed by 4 Chevys, another Ford, a Chevy, a Ford, a Chevy, a Ford, a couple of more Chevys, a Ford, and a Chevy. Not a single Toyota in the field this afternoon in these trucks. You'd think there'd be a Tundra in here. No Tundras. We're under caution. I did not see what brought out the caution. I am not sure. I apologize, folks, if I've missed something. I did not see caution come out. We are under caution. Dakota Henderson, James Napier, Tanner Ensign, your top 3, followed by Stephen Ayers Jr. and Dylan Smith will round out your top 5. 6th through 10th is Mike Presley Male, Bryton Coleman, Justin Bell, Trey Smith, and Scott Rush is in your 10th position. So, with about 15 to go right now, we'll probably see all of our leaders come down, and we do. Yep, you just kind of, you have to. You're at a spot where if you don't come down, you are setting yourself up to be run over, because everybody behind you is going to come in. And once you see that lead truck come in, that automatically decides it for everybody else that they need to come in. If the lead truck is coming in and we know he's fast, everybody else is coming in because they know he's fast. So Dakota Henderson, of course, sits right up front there. So we have cars now, trucks leaving. Oh, and it looks like James Napier gets out ahead of Dakota Henderson. Wow. What a pit stop for James Napier to get out in front of Dakota Henderson. That was a great move. James Napier, our points leader, followed by Keith Ayers, followed by Trey Smith, Will Moore, and John Sauer for our season. Those are our locked-in drivers. Again, Tanner Ensign, Dakota Henderson, and Dylan Smith are in by points as of right now. If we have a driver tonight, say Dakota Henderson, wins this race, he'll knock out Dylan Smith. Then there'll be Tanner Ensign and Dakota Henderson. If Dakota Henderson can win this, then he'll take out Dylan Smith, and Tanner Ensign will move down below him, but still be in on points. So we have quite a few drivers that have opportunity to win. Should they win, they're in. Now there's a few drivers that we have that are ineligible tonight, but many of them are not in the race tonight, so it's not really that big of a deal. Perry Harrington is not eligible, and we don't see anybody else. I think he's the only one that's racing here tonight that I know of that is not eligible for the championship, should he come away victorious here at Kansas Motor Speedway. We're getting ready to go green. 8 rows of trucks this afternoon. Pace car is off. James Napier will lead them to the go line. And they're off. But on the outside, Dakota Henderson got a great jump and is gaining on the Dakota Henderson. James Napier and Dakota Henderson. James Napier finds himself barely in second place. Oh my gosh. First, second, third, and fourth. Dakota Henderson, James Napier, Dylan Smith, Tanner Ensign are all together for your battle for first place. There's 4 trucks. Then behind them in 5th through 7th is Stephen Ayers, Brighton Coleman, and Justin Bell. Look at, they've all come up here to the battle for the front. You see that 44 of Tanner Ensign now, who's moved up into 3rd position. He's driving the Stand for Wit Foundation for Domestic Violence. 44 of that purple machine. James Napier still has the lead. Dakota Henderson has moved into 2nd place. 3rd place is a battle between Tanner Ensign and Dylan Smith. Tanner Ensign will now take over 3rd place outright. 4th place is Dylan Smith, followed by Stephen Ayers. Stephen Ayers moves to the bottom to try to take away the angle, but cannot get it done. 77, James Napier is still your leader. Dakota Henderson, Tanner Ensign, Dylan Smith, Stephen Ayers. 6th through 10th is Brighton Coleman, Justin Bell, Trey Smith, Mike Presley Mail, and Keith Ayers in your 10th position. So Trey Smith has moved up to 8th. We were wondering earlier what happened to him. He may now have his truck adjusted and be moving forward. He does not need to win tonight. He is already in. As is our leader. Now Dakota Henderson is in 2nd place, and right behind him is Tanner Ensign. So let's look from Tanner Ensign's point of view and see what he's looking at inside the truck. He's looking at the rear end of Dakota Henderson and James Napier up in front of him. So we see Dakota Henderson try to get his nose, and he does get his nose below James Napier. So let's take a look now and go up front. We see him all the way taking that move away, and he's on the inside now. So that's Dakota Henderson on the bottom. And look, don't look now, 44, Tanner Ensign almost takes over second place, but James Napier holds it out on the outside, moves to right onto the bumper of the 5 of Dakota Henderson, trying to maybe intimidate him, move him out of the way, but it's not going to happen. The 5 gets a little bit of a gap, and now he's off. James Napier and the 77 and the 44 are fighting it out for second position right now. Across the line is James Napier with Tanner Ensign following in third position. The gap is non-existent right now as we see second and third position touch. The 44 got a little loose, and now he looks like he'll be passed by Dylan Smith in the 48 machine. So we're up to 0.3 of a gap between James Napier and Dakota Henderson, our first place car. That is no gap at all. It's now down to 0.2 of a second. Got a battle going on all through this entire racetrack. Look at all the way back. Let's look over here at Tanner Ensign. Look at him fighting look at that. The 69 of Stephen Ayers Jr. right on the inside. Oh, great move there. That Stanford Witt Foundation Ford is doing everything it can. He's fighting Stephen Ayers Jr. He really is. Stephen Ayers Jr. comes off the wall, almost gets into Tanner. Oh my gosh, Tanner will take the position though and moves up into fourth position. We look up front, Dakota Henderson still has the lead by 0.3 of a second over James Napier in second position. James Napier is definitely in his draft, so Dakota Henderson has not driven away from this at all, with this at all. Third place is Dylan Smith, as you can see, and behind him is Tanner Ensign. Oh, and the third place truck got into the wall, allowing Tanner Ensign to move up into third position. Now Tanner Ensign's one of the trucks that we have here that does not have a win tonight. Should he make his way up to the front and pull a victory out, then he does not have to worry about points at all. We see him in third being chased by fourth, fifth, and sixth, which is Stephen Ayers Jr., Trey Smith, and Dylan Smith. But out front now is still by 0.5 second is Dakota Henderson. Nobody has had anything for Dakota Henderson all night. He has just had one strong truck. James Napier is trying, but he's just fallen behind 0.6 of a second now. We're at lap 68 of 70 laps. Getting ready to call this a finish. The battle in Kansas. We see James Napier taking the outside, looking for that momentum off the wall. He does drop the distance to 0.5 of a second. As we come across the start-finish line, we are on lap 69 of lap 70. Here we go. Dakota Henderson, James Napier in second, Tanner Ensign, your third place car. That would be our truck. That would be our podium. As we see right now, Dakota Henderson, James Napier, Tanner Ensign. We are on our white flag run. One more lap, folks. Can Dakota Henderson hold on to it? Does James Napier have anything for him on the outside? Tanner Ensign in third place, holding on. Looks like Dakota Henderson, James Napier, and Tanner Ensign are our top three. As they come through the turn, we see Dakota Henderson giving it his all. And we have a race victory. Dakota Henderson does it the old-fashioned way, takes a victory, and will move into the final 8 for the playoffs with that. He moves from in the points to your race victor. That's an incredible win. Dakota Henderson, James Napier, and Tanner Ensign. Wow. What a finish. Amazing job by Dakota Henderson. Just a dominant race truck all afternoon long. Just amazing. Wow. He's going to celebrate. And while he does celebrate, we're going to look up Tanner Ensign and bring him into the booth. Hey, Tanner Ensign, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got a copy, Barry. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. And you know what? I'm so excited for you to pull that truck all the way into third place. You really did a great job tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I messed up my qualifying run, so we started in the back. I bounced it off the wall on both laps, so back of the pack we had to go. And if there was points for passing points in this league, I'd have gained a whole bunch. I drove all the way up to fifth, I think, the first time, and then had a bad stop and had to go back and do it all over again. But I didn't have anything for Dakota or James. I hung with them there for a little bit, and I couldn't stay with them.
Dakota was dominant all night long. Whatever he did with his setup, he definitely, nobody really had anything for him. Once the restarts got going, he just was, in a whole different zip code. Let me ask you this. As the race was going on, at any point did you think maybe you had a chance for a victory here tonight?
On that last restart, the 5 and the 77 ended up side by side, and I really thought there would be my chance. And especially Dakota bounced it off the apron at one point, got a little loose, and all I thought was, man, if he does that one more time, I'm prepared for it. I was in position, and then I got in a little deep, and I caught the apron myself and slid up into James, and that really ended our run. I had to come back. I dropped to fifth and had to drive back up again. So, but all in all, good run for the team tonight. Sucks that we couldn't lock in a truck tonight, but we'll get there next week, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think you have every opportunity to get there. You're at Miami next week, and then of course California after that. Any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, YO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stand for Wit Foundation, Redline Radio, Fearless Broadcasting, you, Barry, for doing this for us. All the guys back at Enzyme Motorsports, our new teammate Justin, I don't even know where he finished at tonight, but I know he ended up having a rough race.
Justin Bell finished 10th.
10th, yeah. He was up front. I know that, and I saw that he was involved in a little bit of an incident, and but all in all, yeah, everybody on this team. I mean, we work really hard to try to field now 5 competitive trucks, and Trey and Dakota for helping me with admin support for this. Big thanks to them guys. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got, Barry.
Well, Tanner, we're awfully proud of you. Had a third place podium finish for tonight. Know that you're going to work hard to do good at Miami next week. And that's really all that we can ask of you, is just be prepared. And I know that you will. So we appreciate you coming to the broadcast booth and giving us that great explanation of your great run tonight in that 44 machine.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Barry. Thank you.
You betcha. I'm going to send you back down. Okay, let's bring up our second place finisher, James Napier. Hey, James Napier, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Yes, sir.
Hey, second place, not bad. What do you think?
TNR Designs, Bumblebee Racing, we brought a good truck tonight. Just need a little more laps. I probably could have got Dakota there. I started working the high line, and overall, happy points, good points day, and looking forward to next week.
You definitely had a fast truck, and I think you're right. You were catching him there towards the end. I know probably setups are everything here at a track like this. As the track grooves in, as the rubber's laid down, you have to stay ahead of the situation. It looks like towards the end there, especially on that last caution, your truck was fast, definitely. You were catching Dakota slowly, just was not enough laps to get it done. Was there any point during the race where you thought maybe you had a chance at this victory tonight?
Yeah, if we stayed caution, I got my truck set up for a long race trim, and she was coming in, like I said, and then the cautions came, and it kind of hurt us a little bit, and just need a couple more laps to run the highlight to get Dakota there.
Yeah. Well, before I let you go, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
I'd like to give a shout out to Wild West Racing, Fearless Broadcasting, TR Designs, and our team Bumblebee. We're looking forward to next week.
All right.
Congratulations, Dakota, too.
All right. Well, that's James Napier in our 77 machine. We'll move you down so you can celebrate with the guys. And we'll bring up Dakota Henderson, our number 5, our winner for tonight. Hey, Dakota Henderson, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Yes, sir. How's it going?
I'm doing great. Congratulations on a hard-fought victory. You were so dominant tonight. Tell us all about it.
Man, I felt like I had a hot rod with the way qualifying went, and thank God it would transfer to the race. Yeah, just got lucky this time, and a nice bounce back, and ready to go try to fight for a championship now.
Well, the thing is you were in by points only, but with this victory, you now have guaranteed yourself into the round of 8, and I know that's got to feel really good.
Yes, it does. It makes you feel a bit more comfortable about the next few races.
Absolutely. Knowing that you've got a little bit of a buffer there, you do not have to perform at the exact same level. Of course, it'd be nice to get some playoff points going into the playoffs. That obviously would be helpful. Was there
Those are always nice.
Yeah. Was there at any time tonight while you were driving where you thought, man, this might be slipping away from me? Or did you just feel confident the entire night?
Well, that last restart with he beat me off pit road. James beat me off pit road.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about it because I haven't started on the outside yet with Tanner right there behind us, and they kept me honest. They made me work for it. They made me earn it. Wasn't easy on that restart.
No, they certainly did. You did not get the gap that you had earlier on in the race. They were right there with you, and there was about 5 cars right behind you there at that restart. So you definitely had to put something together, and you definitely had the strategy and the game plan to make it all happen. Before I let you go, though, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Oh, I'd like to give a shout out.
Hey, Dakota.
You're back.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. Go ahead with your shout-outs.
I'm just Bumblebee Racing and TNR Design. I'm just gonna say it wrong now. TNL Designs and James for keeping me honest as a teammate, and Tanner for putting together Wild West Racing, and that's everybody. I appreciate you broadcasting.
All right. Well, Dakota Henderson, our number 5 car, he's our victor for tonight at Kansas. I'm going to move you down so you can go ahead and celebrate with the guys.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
I'm gonna bust his ass.
Hey.
Thanks, Tony.
Hey, Trey Smith in the number 1 car. This is Barry Stevens in broadcast booth. You got me.
Yes, sir.
Hey, 4th place finish. Not bad. Not a podium. What do you think?
This Redline Radio number 1 was definitely a rocket ship, able to pick up like 4 or 5 spots there on that last restart. I think I got held up a little, just a couple laps too long. Potentially, possibly could have gotten third, maybe even second. But Dakota was strong all night for sure, and so was James. And just the strategy that we thought would work out just didn't work out. And yeah, to get ready for Tuesday.
That's right. Now we know that Redline Radio podcast that you're putting on, you said, is possibly will be coming out tomorrow on Spotify.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna be finishing it up tonight, and we're gonna be covering the Final Four, making my predictions for next week at not Martinsville, Phoenix. Talking a little bit about the Martinsville race, and then gonna talk about tonight's race and last Wednesday's Xfinity race. So definitely a lot of stuff there that is gonna be covered. Looking really forward to it. Just got to finish up some editing on it, and it'll be up on Spotify. You can go check it out. It's called Redline Radio. And yeah.
All right. Well, Trey Smith in the number one truck, and we appreciate that. We brought you up into the booth as a sponsor, as congratulations as well. Fourth place finish. That's Redline Radio Podcast. Check him out tomorrow. That's Trey Smith, Redline Radio Podcast. I'll move you down with the boys now.
Hey Barry, real quick.
Sure.
I just want to know: are you still streaming? Because on mine it's showing you're not. I just want to make sure.
It's showing I'm still streaming.
All right, good deal. But yeah, thanks Barry. You do a great job. You and Ethan both running this broadcasting. You guys do a great job. So yeah, thanks for being part of it. We appreciate it, and glad to be not only a part of a sponsor, glad to be in this great league.
And we'll check it out as soon as we're done with the stream. I'll go back and check it out and see if it cut out before it ended. If it did cut out, then we'll have to download it onto YouTube the other way.
Yes, sir. I figured I'd let you know so that way you weren't like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna let Barry know.
All right. Yeah, no problem. All right. Thank you, Trey.
Hey, thank you, brother.
You bet. Okay, so we finished 70 laps at Kansas Motor Speedway with the Wild West Racing League. Definitely an exciting race. Everybody was into this one. It was that 1.5 mile track. Track temperature wasn't really that hot at 107 degrees. You'd expect it to be hotter, except for that it's only 70 degrees outside. That asphalt just didn't really get a chance to heat up a whole lot. But we went, for the most part, mostly caution-free, which is just an incredible race. Now, the one thing that happened tonight is with the win by Dakota Henderson, he moved up actually into the top 8 in points. So we now have 6 winners for the season, and that leaves Tanner Ensign and Dylan Smith on the border trying to get in. They're still in by points, but just barely. If we have another winner and they're not one of them, they run the risk of not making it in to the round of 8. But tonight, folks, Wild West Racing League at Kansas Motor Speedway was brought to you by Fearless Broadcasting Network. We know you had choices. We thank you that you picked YouTube and the broadcast by Wild West Racing League. And we look forward to seeing you next Sunday at the same exact time. Thanks for tuning in and have a great week. Goodbye.